Thank you so much. Thank you to the Canadian Journalism Foundation, to the judges. It's a real honor to be here. Congratulations to all my fellow journalists who are recognized here tonight. I'm privileged to be counted among you. The business of peering into the darkest corners of human experience and writing it down for the world can be hard on the soul. Your subjects are leery, your readers are cynical, your heart is broken, and you have to file 600 words by 5 p.m. But we must write. Walter Lippmann once said, "There can be no higher law in journalism than to tell the truth and shame the devil." He stole that phrase from Shakespeare. What it means is that we must tell the truth despite the temptation to lie or to soften the truth or to conceal the horror. This is difficult to do. Indeed, it took the support of two amazing newspapers to produce the Fatal Care series. My remarkable colleague and investigative partner on the project, Darcy Henton, who can't be here tonight, designer Darren Francie, columnist Paula Simons, editors Stephanie Coombs, Chris Varco, Margot Goodhand, Lauren Motley, Lucinda Chodan, photographers Ryan Jackson and Ed Kaiser, and every single one of our colleagues who covered our shifts and talked us through. You cannot do this kind of work without colleagues who support you and remind you that you must. I like to think that in the end, together, we shamed the devil. Thank you.
Merci. Merci aux membres du jury, merci à la Fondation, merci à vous tous d'être ici. Merci à mes patrons, je sais qu'il y en a quelques-uns qui sont ici, de Radio-Canada et de l'émission Enquête, qui nous permettent de faire le reportage que nous voulons faire, que nous aimons faire. D'autant plus que ces années sont difficiles, puisqu'après 7 ans d'excellence en journalisme, je crois, Enquête, nous vivons des coupures à Radio-Canada qui, je crains, mettent en péril non seulement Radio-Canada, mais aussi l'émission Enquête. Thank you for being here. Thank you, members of the jury. Thank you, the Foundation. Thank you for my bosses also who are allowing us to do the reporting we like to do. This award couldn't come at a better time. For 7 years, our team at Enquête is trying to make a difference. Just think of the Charbonneau Commission, who has been launched after we broadcast our own inquiries investigation. But days are difficult. I have to let you know that I'm fearing that the budget cuts, federal cuts, are putting Radio-Canada and also Enquête in jeopardy. But today, you're telling us that we have done a good job. Thank you for that.
I just want to say thank you to the Canadian Journalism Foundation, and I want also to say that this was a global story that was also a global journalistic endeavor, and most of the stories we did could have been done without the help and the work of Swiss public television journalism Yves Steiner, and also our stories benefited from the help from advices and from conversation with our colleague at CBC Radio, Dave Seglins, and also with our colleague at the Globe and Mail, Greg MacArthur. I don't know if Greg is here. No, but thank you. And it was a great honor to be recognized, to see that our work is recognized outside of our Quebec, where our core audience is, and I want to thank you for that.
On behalf of all of our Globe colleagues, many who are here tonight, thank you for this honor, including Kim and Justin, who are in Lac-Mégantic this week for work on the one-year anniversary of the tragedy. The disaster in Lac-Mégantic was an accident hiding in plain sight. When the train loaded with crude oil crashed and 47 people died that night, the railway industry, the oil sector, and the federal government were quick to categorize the accident as a once-in-a-lifetime moment, a freak accident that wouldn't happen again. But behind the tragedy, the groundwork for the accident had been laid many years earlier. With not enough pipelines to ship their crude, oil companies put more oil on trains in vast quantities that we had never seen before. Neither government nor regulators nor industry bothered to treat this brave new world with any new safety rules. No measures were written for trains carrying 100 cars of oil and moving this oil through cities and towns. And no concessions were made for potentially explosive oil. The Globe and Mail investigation helped expose this outdated thinking, we think, showing that clear risks were being ignored. And 3 more explosive derailments in the US in the months since then have shown that this isn't a once-in-a-lifetime moment.
want to channel something that Karen Kleiss said in PEI this weekend for the National Newspaper Awards, for which she richly deserved. The Investigative Journalism Project. She said to start an investigative project, you get really pissed off. We were pissed off, and a team of people at the Globe and Mail were pissed off that it was so hard to get to the bottom of what was wrong with the oil. We want to thank Justin, who, as Grant said, spent the very difficult summer in Lac-Mégantic, Kim Mackrell, who chased our transportation minister down many corridors in Ottawa, Les Perot and Brent Jang, who brought their intelligence on the rail industry. And finally, I want to say something to the young journalists out there. It may seem like a romantic adventure to be an investigative journalist. You get to work with George Clooney and lots of other people. You get to wear fancy clothes. It's a slog. It's hard, it's difficult, and at the end of the day, you get the job done. So I encourage all of you to put on your yoga pants, get in your attic, and continue to be the investigative journalist that you can be.
When you do stories, or I should say, when you uncover stories of wrongdoing or ethical lapses by powerful people, you need a damn good lawyer, and we had that in Peter Jacobson. And when the lies and denials were flying, Lisa LaFlamme, CTV News President Wendy Freeman over there, and executive producer Dave Hughes had my back and never once doubted my stories. I want to thank CTV News, in particular the Ottawa Bureau, for helping me bring these stories to light. But special mention must go to the confidential sources that trusted CTV News with their anonymity so that we could bring these stories to light and to show that an institution like the Senate was anything but a chamber of sleepy second thought. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to the CJF. Newspapers are alive. Just look at the work we've seen represented here tonight, and much more of it across the country. Investigative journalism is alive. The heart is beating strongly, and forgive me as a lifer at the Star for saying this, it beats strongest at the Toronto Star. We have John Hondrick, John Cruikshank, Michael Cook, thank you Michael, Jane Davenport, Irene Gentle, and of course the soul of our group, Bert Bruiser, to thank for this. Mayor Rob Ford and his cast of characters presented a challenging and at times disturbing probe into the public interest allegations involving them. The Toronto Star and an inspiring group of reporters delivered and continue to deliver journalism that was one part shoe leather, one part guts, and all part story. You see, as Robin Doolittle, Jamie Poisson, Daniel Dale, and all of the many reporters that work and continue to work on this investigation know, it's the story that is the thing. And for those of you on Twitter, why not tweet that? Newspapers are alive.
Everybody cleans up so well, it's a bit odd. I can't help but imagine that Knowlton Nash would have loved to be here just one more time, you know? I think what was great about him is that he never phoned it in. No one in this room phones it in. Everybody here gets that good enough isn't actually good enough, and that it's completely silly to be standing here alone. You know, I'm part of a happy gang of miscreants on this odd terror file. Sylvain Gilchrist, Stephanie Genzer, Lisa LaVenture, and the meticulous Nazem Baksh. What he knows makes us all smarter. And what's great about this unit, of course, the lovely David Walmsley, who I never know whether to punch or hug. Hug is good. You know, what we like and what we enjoy doing is that believing that it's worth fighting for stories that make the bosses sweat and powerful people deeply uncomfortable. Those are the good days, you know, and it's not easy to work in a country, everybody knows, where information is not exactly free-flowing, but we also understand that the people who keep their lips tight, and they know who they are, misunderstand what we do if they think it's going to stop us from pushing and getting the answers we need. So to that and to you, thank you.